Location: Aunt May's house, months after the fire at Dr. Connor's lab. Aunt May and Mary Jane are sitting at the table together. The table is littered with used tissues. It's clear both of them have been crying for some time now. Aunt May: ever since that Mad Jack maniac, he hasn't been the same. Mary Jane: the last time I saw him, he wouldn't even speak to me. I took him soup because he was sick, and he just slammed the door in my face. I know he wants to keep us safe, but I don't understand why he would push us away like this. Aunt May: he hasn't taken my calls in months. It goes straight to voicemail. I don't even know where he is, and it's breaking my heart. Location: Kraven's den. Peter is fully recovered from his man-spider infection thanks to the antidote administered by Kraven. But now he finds himself in a new predicament. Kraven has imprisoned Peter in his underground den. Kraven has been tracking Peter for months, waiting for the perfect moment to capture his prey. Kraven thrives off of the hunt. It gives him purpose. In stalking Peter, Kraven was made aware of the clone, Ben Reilly. Kraven despises the existence of Ben, thinking him to be an abomination to the natural order. He has now set his sights on this new hunt and plans to kill Ben, ridding the world of his monstrosity. Peter: the clone is as much human as he is a symbiote. He has thoughts, feelings, dreams. I'm not his biggest fan either, but he doesn't understand his place in the world. Kraven: that's exactly the point. It has no place in this world. It should never have been allowed to exist. It's my duty to restore the natural order of things. The clone must die. Peter: and what of me? Why won't you release me? Kraven: I don't kill caged animals. Your time will come. And when it does, I believe it will be a worthy test of my skill. But first, I must end this aberration. Once the clone is dead and gone, you'll be set free, and I'll have the hunt I have been craving for so long. Location: Alchemax Laboratories. Standing outside Alchemax Laboratories, wearing a white lab coat, is Ben Reilly. Ben looks completely different to the last time we saw him. He has dyed his hair blonde and wears glasses. He's also regrown his beard in an attempt to recreate himself and hide his resemblance to Peter Parker. Ben believes that he killed Peter the man-spider in the fire at Dr. Connor's laboratory. He let Peter die in order to save himself and Miles from the blaze. The weight of his guilt has become unbearable. He has tried his best to rid himself of Peter's thoughts and emotions in an attempt to form his own identity, separate from the identity of Peter that makes up his being. Despite his efforts, so much of Peter and Spider-Man still courses through his veins. Ben has started a new job at Alchemax Laboratories and moved up the ranks incredibly quickly due to his superior intellect. His work in the advancement of portal technology has not gone unnoticed by CEO Walker Sloan and lead scientist Jonathan Owen. Ben has formed a close working relationship with both of Alchemax's lead men and is working on a top secret project with them. Ben takes a deep breath and walks into the building. Ben joins Sloan and Owen in the underground bunker where the portal machine is being tested. Only the three of them are aware of this top secret operation. Ben is being manipulated for his intellect to work on the project and is not aware of the true purpose of the machine. Ben believes they are working on a quantum reactor, capable of opening a wormhole that could enable them to increase the speed of space travel. The machine would enable spacecraft to launch directly out of the chamber through the wormhole into any desired location in the cosmos. In reality, the machine's purpose is to open gateways to alternate dimensions in the multiverse. Sloan and On update Ben on the project's progress, informing him that they are nearing the testing phase. All they need is for Ben to finalize the development of the reactor core. Ben has been responsible for developing the reactor's power source, capable of generating enough atomic energy to open the wormhole. Ben tells them that he is a matter of days away from completion. He just needs to make sure that it is safe. If the reactor fails in the process of opening the wormhole, the entire city could collapse into a black hole. The results could be potentially world-ending. Later that day, we see Ben leaving Alchemax laboratories to return home. He is being stalked by Kraven, who watches from a lofty vantage point with his high-tech binoculars. Kraven follows Ben all the way home and takes up position on a rooftop across the street. Ben turns on his police radio to listen for crime alerts. He has still been working as a vigilante. Almost immediately, his radio updates on an ongoing bank robbery, and Ben springs into action. He opens his wardrobe to reveal his suit. He has updated his suit to embrace his new identity as the Scarlet Spider. His suit is a dark red, except for white tiger-like stripes on the arms and on his back. It is completely different from Spider-Man's original suit, although there is still a slight resemblance. Ben suits up and begins to swing through the city. Kraven ingests the potion that gives him his superhuman powers, and chases after the Scarlet Spider, keeping enough distance to remain unnoticed. The Scarlet Spider arrives at the scene of the robbery, as the robbers are fleeing in their armored vehicle. The robbers notice Scarlet Spider swinging after them, and the back doors of the vehicle swing open, where a large machine gun is mounted. The robber manning the gun opens fire on Scarlet Spider, but he is too fast for the gunman to land a shot. Scarlet Spider lands on the roof of the armored car, and uses his webs to jam the front tires, sending the car flipping through the air. Scarlet Spider wraps up all of the robbers as they crawl out of the vehicle. Kraven ambushes Scarlet Spider by strangling him with his whip and pulling him to the ground. Scarlet Spider jumps back to his feet and snaps the whip from around his neck. Kraven throws a knife at SS, but he dodges the speeding blade. Scarlet Spider pulls Kraven towards him with his web, and then clotheslines the hunter with his other arm. While lying on the ground, Kraven spins around and kicks Scarlet Spider off of his feet. They both jump up to their feet, and SS blocks another knife attack before headbutting Kraven backwards. Kraven reacts by shooting a poison dart, which hits SS in the arm. Immediately, SS starts feeling dizzy. Kraven throws a combination of punches and knife attacks, which Scarlet Spider just manages to avoid. Scarlet Spider wraps Kraven up with his web and hangs him up from the road sign above and makes a run for it. Kraven cuts himself loose and flees the scene as the cops arrive. Location: Alchemax Laboratories. The next day, Kraven has returned to his vantage point to spy on Ben. He is wearing a disguise this time, dressed up like a scientist in a lab coat. Kraven waits for darkness to fall. He makes his way down to the entrance of Alchemax Laboratories, and as he sees a group of scientists coming out of the exit, one of them is Walker Sloan. Kraven walks past the group and bumps shoulders with Sloan, stealing his access card in the process. Kraven has been spying on the facility for days, and with the use of his high-tech X-ray binoculars, he's discovered a secret lift that leads to an underground bunks. Kraven searches the facility and finds the life. He uses Sloan's access card to grant himself entry into the bunker below. Inside the bunker, Kraven finds the portal machine. He has no idea what it is. Kraven leaves the bunker and stealthily makes his way to Sloan's private office. Kraven begins searching through all of Sloan's documents and files, until he finds the top secret folder regarding the portal machine. Kraven is shocked by the discovery and decides that he must stop this plan before it is set in motion. Kraven believes that these things should not be meddled with. He fears the consequences of this kind of technology could end life as we know it. Location: Kraven's den. Kraven updates Peter on his findings at Alchemax Labs. Peter is deeply concerned by the nature of Kraven's findings and tells Kraven that if he releases him, he will help him shut down the machine for good. Kraven says that he doesn't trust Peter and that he's capable of completing this mission without his help. Kraven is going to use an explosive to blow up the machine. Peter tells him that he cannot just blow up the machine because the reactor will set off an explosion that could destroy the entire city. It would be like setting off the strongest earthquake known to mankind. Peter tells Kraven that he has to use an EMP charge to shut down the machine. Only then can the reactor be removed from the machine, and then the nuclear materials can be removed and disposed of. Kraven says that he'll trust Peter on his suggestion and take an EMP charge powerful enough to shut down the reactor, but if he has to, he'll blow it to pieces. Peter warns him that this would kill millions. Kraven argues that if the machine is allowed to operate and it goes wrong, it could kill the whole world. Location: Alchemax Laboratories. Ben joins. On in the bunker to run some tests on the machine's reactor. They power up the machine and all appears to be going smoothly until Kraven breaks into the bunker with a group of 5 of his highly trained henchmen from the jungle. Ben rips off his lab coat to reveal his SS suit and puts on his mask. Ben starts fighting Kraven and his henchmen. On is shocked that Ben is who he thinks to be Spider-Man and decides to launch the machine without fully running the test on the reactor. He cannot afford for all of his work to go to waste now. Scarlet Spider throws one of Kraven's henchmen with so much force that he breaks through the viewing window that looks onto the portal chamber. Kraven tackles Scarlet Spider into the chamber and the fighting continues. On completes the initialization of the portal sequencing, and a portal to an alternate dimension starts to open above the city and devours the entire Alchemax building. The opening of the portal sends a shockwave through NYC, breaking the glass in every window and shaking the entire city to its core. Location: Kraven's den. The blast from the portal's opening has enabled Peter to break loose from his cage. He squeezes through the bars and breaks out of Kraven's den. Peter runs out onto the street and sees the portal opening over Alchemax. Location: Alchemax portal chamber. Kraven and Scarlet Spider stop fighting momentarily as they look through the portal to the alternate universe. On the other side of the portal is another version of Kraven and Scarlet Spider engaged in a battle. They also stop fighting, faced with the same confusion and disbelief. Kraven reaches out into the portal to see if he can touch the alternate version of himself, but as soon as he does, his alternate self is ripped to pieces until there is nothing left but a bloody mist. This enrages Kraven and he tries to cut SS to pieces with his blades. Scarlet Spider tries to reason with Kraven. Scarlet Spider, we need to stop this portal. We can do this together. Kraven does not respond and continues to attack the SS. Kraven slashes Scarlet Spider and he stumbles towards the portal. The portal starts ripping the Scarlet Spider's skin from his body. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is closing in on the Alchemax building. Scarlet Spider manages to pull himself away from the portal's grasp, but he is terribly wounded. Kraven stabs the Scarlet Spider in his stomach and starts climbing with him to the portal reactor. On sees this happening and runs into the chamber room to try and stop it. Kraven lifts the Scarlet Spider above his head and throws him into the reactor. The reactor jams and implodes, killing Kraven in the blast. Owen and Ben are sucked into the portal. On's body starts to fuse with the atomic particles of the portal's makeup. We see On's body mutating as he becomes one with the interdimensional forces around him. The implosion sends a blast wave that sends Spider-Man flying through the sky and crashing into a building. The dust settles. The destruction is catastrophic. There is no sight of Kraven, Ben, or Spider-Man in the wreckage.